Nuggets of Knowledge is a series where I give you actually useful tips and tricks that pro teams are using, such as how Makaze is playing football with Molotovs on backside A Inferno, or probably more importantly, that very powerful site Molotov Senzu was throwing for the retake. You're going to lodge yourself into the corner of this postage box. You're going to find this beam on the wooden balcony hanging over A site. And you're just going to aim pretty far to the right here in the middle of that beam and let it fly over the top. This is good for retaking, but also if you're trying to wrap A, you can see it spreads to all the corners, even gets on top of this box here, so no one can play this vertical angle. So it's really good for those situations, the retake, and also if you're wrapping A. One thing to talk about if you are retaking, if you're using the CT incendiary rather than that T side Molotov, it doesn't always spread perfectly. So this back corner can technically be missed sometimes, but it's unlikely that anyone on the post plant is going to be playing back there initially anyway, and your Molotov landing should force them to give you a sound cue if anyone is hiding back there on your retake. On train, I've got two Wallbangs for you that will tilt your opponent. We saw this happen to Brolin at the Major, and who else to be inflicting this damage but Zaiwu. And the way you're going to do this is once you know they're taking that pop dog control, you're going to fall back into this orange barrel in the Z connector, and you're going to aim anywhere from the rightmost of this bottom right pane in the middle, or anywhere to the middle of this one, and that's going to be the spam area. Is in this box that looks a little bit like that. You can see where that's where Brolin was on Zaiwu's point of view in the game, and you're just going to start spamming. If you just spam these lines, you're bound to do some damage, and there you go. I've taken out the two bots, which you can see were lined up about here and here. A position you wouldn't be surprised to find someone, particularly if you've just smoked them off in Pop Dog. The T-side alternative to this is spamming the Pop Dog entrance. We can see Rob's trying to do it to Exertion as he falls out here. 11 or 12 seconds into the round is when a CT will get there. So if you jump up onto this bench and aim in the middle of this window and just unleash, you can see I've very quickly taken out the bot. So 11 to 12 seconds in the round, spam that, you should do a good damage. On Dust 2, we all hate trying to short exec and deal with this AWPer who has his teammate locking down long. We try and throw flashes behind us, but they don't really do anything. You can see you can throw heaps of them. It's hardly going to affect that AWPer at all, and he's going to get one or two picks as you try and cross the site. Well, there's a much better solution to that, and that is once you throw your lurk smoke, which should look a little bit something like this if you know what you're doing, you're going to run up and you're going to line yourself up with this band on this box that says fragile. And then this black and orange taping that goes all the way across the box, you're going to find it and you're going to follow it out until you pass the wall, and you're going to do a jump throw on your flash. And you can see I'm throwing flashes and they're not blinding me at all. And that's the same thing for your team scaling out here. You can see it's not really going to flash them. They can come all the way out, even take fights like this, and it's not going to hit them. And then anyone that is trying to play this angle, you can see I'm trying to AWP. Oh, that's a proper flash there, yeah? You've got nothing that you can do against it. That AWP is going to be flashed. You throw two of them, 1, 2, and he's just blind forever. Your teammate's up on site, and that AWPer is dead. Mirage is such a difficult one because everyone knows how to play the map, so I thought I'd go back in time and give you B lurkers a new angle to look at as you're coming out B apartments. And the simple way to do this is just get a teammate to boost you up here at bench, and you're going to look into apartments and kill anyone trying to lurk out there. It's a good spot as well to reposition. If anyone does try to pop on you, you get flash. There's a lot of cover on site too, you can get to quite quickly. So a little bit cheeky. You can see how far I've wound back the clock. The clip I have for this is Device using it to kill Flusher, I think 7 years ago. So if you want to wind back the clock, give this one a go. For Nuke, normally I'd say play like Shiro, but when it comes to nading away smokes, the pros can't do it consistently. Shiro has to get help from Donk here, just to spot if anyone's crossing outside. If it is this deep outside wall that you should be using and the pros are using as well, the most consistent way is not to do a running throw like Shiro did, but find yourself in this area, aim where this wire crosses with the pole, and just shift walk it forward. And you see that's going to land beautifully in the middle, make a nice clear opening, and give you the easiest shots possible. You can also see how low the nade flies here. There's no indication that's coming in, it doesn't hit the floor or anything. So the T side's going to be caught as much a surprise as possible. One thing I should point out to you guys is while Donk did nade for Shiro, there's not really much point nading for yourself, because even if you get a nice one off like this, you can see it might clear the space close to you, but that fast smoke is going to continue to block you off. So unless you feel like a madman who's going to wide swing with his nade, there's probably not much point in doing this. One thing that is worthwhile though is if you're playing against the old school wall and you're playing this mini position, is to have the nade where you double click it, find yourself around the corner of the doorway here, and you're just going to aim up to where the top of this corner is. Just do a double click throw, that's going to fly in and again blow away that smoke nicely. So you should know that one in case someone's playing CSGO. I just did a video breaking down and showing everything pro teams are doing at Overpass right now. One thing I didn't show though was this smoke here, where you go against this wall, you line up the corner of the house with the wood and monster like that, and then you're going to aim right there on that wooden beam and do a jump throw. And that's the one way where if you're on this barrel side, this kind of right side of sight, you can get a nice min-max smoke at the back there. You can obviously still just throw your one that bounces into the tube like this, but it's not going to be quite as nice and spread a little bit more forward. So if you want to min-max absolutely everything, that jump throw is a nice one. And finally for Ancient, I've got two things for you around this cheetah area of the map. We consistently see teams fight for this area on the CT side. I just did a whole video about how Spirit like to fight for this area of the map and how their whole game plan revolves around it. And then one thing that we saw Chopper do was come up against this yellow lighting here and just spam lower just below this little ridge you can see, or this little notch in the wood here. And if you just start spamming away down here, you see you're bound to start doing some damage. I took out the bot on the left here, but you can also start doing damage here to the guy on the right. To counter this though, we saw Mongols deal with Alexi B with a nice little boost here, where they boost up on this ledging outside of Cheetah, and you can actually look inside, and anyone trying to hold that smoke more aggressively is going to get taken out. You can see from Alexi B's point of view, he had absolutely no chance at all. One little note about this, just so you're not giving away what you're trying to do, is when you do get on top of the head, don't bother trying to peek out further than when you kind of see the inside of this scaffolding here. That's the best angle you're going to get. If you try and go out a little bit more, you're just going to fall off, and I don't have to tell you that's going to greatly decrease your chances of getting a kill. And with that out there, the only thing left for me to say is thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you found this video interesting, or leave a comment if there's something you want me to break down or analyze in my usual type of content.